He never left. A true paranormal account. She wasn't looking for a ghost. She was just trying to get over a boy. That's how it always starts, doesn't it? Something small, something almost embarrassing. And by the time you realize what you've let in, it's already standing right behind you. This is Daniella's story, and I need you to listen carefully, because what happened to her wasn't just a haunting. It was a courtship. It was a Tuesday evening in late October. Rain, the kind that doesn't make noise, it just falls, steady and gray, like the sky had quietly given up. Daniella was at her desk, earphones in, textbooks open. Her parents had left an hour ago for a neighbor's funeral. A woman from down the street, early 50s, sudden death, no explanation given. She was alone. Now, before we go any further, you need to understand who Daniella was, because this matters. She was 20, pre-med, the kind of student who color codes her notes and still gets the top score. Half her campus was quietly in love with her, professors included, though nobody said it out loud. She was warm, she was grounded, and she was disciplined, the kind of person who does not spook easily. Which is why what happened next scared her more than anything else could. She felt someone standing behind her. Not heard, not saw, felt. She pulled out one earbud, looked over her shoulder. Nothing. She turned back to her notes, told herself it was the weather, the empty house, the funeral talk before her parents left. She put the earbud back in. But the feeling didn't leave. It grew, like something was leaning in, closer, getting comfortable. She paused her music, sat completely still. And in that silence, in that terrible, ordinary silence of a rainy Tuesday night, she heard breathing. Not hers. She spun around, nothing there, just her open door and the dark hallway beyond it. But whatever it was, she could feel it now, standing in that doorway, waiting, watching, like it had been there for a while and was only now deciding to let her know. She grabbed her phone, called her mom. No answer. She stood up, walked to the door, closed it, and told herself she was being ridiculous. She wasn't. 20 minutes later, a knock. 3 heavy, slow knocks on her bedroom door. Who's there? Silence. 3 more. She opened it. Her father was standing there, smiling. "Just got home," he said. "Dinner's ready," he said. She asked him why he knocked like that, 3 times, slow, no answer. He looked at her like she'd said something strange. "Daniella, I just walked up the stairs. I didn't knock." She didn't sleep well that night. At breakfast, her mother told her about the woman who had died next door. 53, no illness, no accident. She was found in her bedroom, sitting at her desk. Daniella put down her fork. She went to class, sat through lectures, had lunch with friends, laughed at the right moments. But the whole time, she felt watched. Not paranoid watched, not anxiety watched. Watched. The kind where the hairs on your arms don't go back down. On the walk home, she heard footsteps behind her. She turned around 4 times. Nobody there. She told her mother everything that evening. Her mother held her hands and said, "Baby, you've been stressed. You just need sleep." Her father told her the same thing. She believed them enough to go to bed. She should not have believed them. She woke up at 3:14 a.m., not from a nightmare, from heat. The kind of heat that comes from a body next to yours, pressing close, breathing slow. She was alone in the bed. She lay there for 40 minutes, completely still, eyes open in the dark, before she finally managed to fall back asleep. The next morning, she found the marks. 2 on her neck, 1 on her hand. Not scratches, not a rash, bite marks. Her mother cried. Her father went pale. They took her to the doctor, and to his credit, the doctor did not dismiss it. He examined them carefully, said it looked like a bite, but could be an unusual reaction, an insect, a skin condition. He gave her medication. Daniella knew it wasn't an insect, but she wanted so badly to believe it was. 3 days later, morning, she was in the shower, and the feeling came back. Heavier than before, like something filling the room. She tried to ignore it. She reached for her towel and, without thinking, the way you do something without deciding to, she looked at the mirror. It had been written there, while she was in the shower, in something dark red that ran in slow lines down the glass. Miss me? The scream that came out of her didn't sound like her. Her mother heard it from downstairs and was up those stairs in seconds. Daniella ran to her in just her towel, shaking, couldn't speak, just pointed. Her mother looked into the bathroom. She didn't say, "It's fine." She said, "Get dressed, we're leaving." Her Aunt Misty lived 40 minutes outside the city. Old house, herb garden. A woman who didn't own a television but owned 3 copies of the Bible and a shelf of things Daniella had never asked about. Misty opened the door and stopped. She looked at Daniella. Then she looked at the space just behind Daniella, and her expression shifted into something that wasn't fear. It was recognition. She brought them inside, made tea, asked Daniella to tell her everything from the beginning. And she listened. She didn't interrupt, didn't react, just listened. And when Daniella finished, Misty set down her cup and said, "You didn't attract this because of the funeral. Ghosts don't find people that way. You opened a door, and you need to think carefully about when." And that's when Daniella remembered. 8 months ago, back when she was still with Marcus. His grandmother had passed, and Daniella, trying to comfort him, had suggested they try a spirit board. Just to say goodbye, she'd said, just to feel close to her. It hadn't worked, or so she thought. Misty nodded slowly when she heard this. "Something came through, and it's been with you since." She paused. "And Daniella, it isn't angry. It isn't lost. It's in love with you." Misty worked for over an hour. Candles, prayer, things Daniella didn't have words for and didn't try to name. When it was done, the air felt different, lighter, like after a storm. But Misty's face didn't look relieved. Daniella asked her if it was gone. Misty looked at her for a long moment. "It's quieter," she said. "But something that close doesn't just leave. It's been sleeping beside you for months. It knows your schedule. It knows your voice. Stay with the scripture. Keep your space blessed. Don't look in mirrors in the dark. And if you ever feel that heat in your bed again, don't move." The weeks that followed were calmer. The footsteps faded. The feeling of being watched softened to something almost tolerable. Life crept back to normal. Daniella went back to school, back to her color-coded notes and her morning runs and her friends who had no idea. But she never used earphones alone in the house anymore. And she never, not once, looked in a bathroom mirror while the shower was still running. Because Misty's last words never left her. "You got lucky," her aunt had said, quietly on the drive back. "Most people who get this close, they don't get to leave." Whatever came through that board loved you enough to wait. Just make sure it knows the answer is no. If you've ever felt something standing behind you when you know you're alone, I hope you never find out what it was.